thecoolestnerd.net. Back with another review. My live reviews that I like to do. And just so happens this is NBA Live 19. I'm gonna get right into the review, man. For the purposes of the review, I did mute the music in the game menus because I just don't feel like going through all that stuff with YouTube, but whatever. So there is a soundtrack. It's pretty nice. Got different artists on it: J. Cole, Logic, etc. Very good soundtrack. I definitely dig it. A lot of hip hop, of course, which is typical to basketball games or just sports games in general, I guess. But anyway, so NBA Live 19 released on September 7th, which was last Friday. So exactly a week ago today, I did pre-order the game through NBA Live 18. The game retails for $59.99, so it is available right now. But my review for NBA Live 19, it is much like NBA Live 18. As you can see, I've created my player. Face scan this year, for some reason, it's a little choppy. Definitely not as easy as it was last year. So I don't know what they did that maybe they thought they improved it. And I think in some ways maybe they did as far as texture goes. It does capture, I think it captures more of your skin texture, that type of thing. So they did some improvements, but it's made it more complicated to scan your face. And the game doesn't really assist like a 2K does with, if it didn't get everything perfect, like kind of like fixing it, you know what I mean? And of course they didn't add anything as far as allowing you to shape your head or change your ears or anything like that. So it's just like, you put your face on there and they tell you to get in a lit room, but then your face is lighter and light, and then you're trying to get your skin tone right. Everything is just weird. So a little bit disappointed in the face scan this year. I don't know if they can make some tweaks to that, but they did fix the bug where if you change your face scan and went back into your player creator or whatever you want to call it and change to your new face scan, it doesn't make your player's weight change like it did last year. And I don't know if they ever fixed that, but I digress. So that's the face scan. As far as the gameplay, when of course you have the one, which is the big thing in NBA Live. And last year, this is what kept me playing. I think is what drew me in, and it's pretty much the same this year. I mean, you want to create yourself. I don't see a lot of face scans like when I'm playing, in these live events and things like that. So it's weird to me that people don't do that, but it might be because it is, rather irritating trying to get a good scan. That could be a big part of that. But as you can see, in the one, the big thing is the Streets, and it's now called the Streets World Tour, which actually, if you go into it, it does have a lot more locations than last year. So last year you just had like the Rucker, Seattle, Berry Farms, like 5 locations or so. This year they went, you got Rio, Dykeman was there last year. You got whatever this is, Marguerite Dinglin. I don't think that was there last year. You got the Hoop Dome in Toronto, Canada. You got Ka 54 in Paris. I mean, a good amount of locations, man. So definitely did a good job of improving upon the Streets. And now, of course, you actually take in your own squad now. So it's not some random squad that you're just picking up. You actually get to, you have to obtain the players first, but you obtain them by playing, and then you go in and you're able to choose who your squad is. I'm not gonna go into this game, but you get the picture. So you got your 5 players. Of course, you're always in the lineup, and whatever your position is pretty much, you're stuck at that position. You can't change your position. So you are where you are, and then you just choose players around that. So you got the Streets, then you got the league, of course. You know what that's about. You play in the league, you get endorsement deal and blah blah blah. Pretty much the same as last year. Nothing really changed much. Nothing that is worth mentioning anyway. Then you got your live events, which was available last year as well. So far, it hasn't been a lot of stuff. Like last year, they were really good. Obviously, it's only been a week, so I get that. But last year, they were really good about making sure that these live events were giving you different gear and stuff like that. This year, it's big because one of the big additions this year being the create your own court, my court type of deal. You got a lot more stuff that they have to give you in these challenges, I guess. Which, like this particular challenge, it says canvas. Anything that says canvas is a court like logo or something like that. So you can always go into your live event, you can check the challenge rewards, and you can see that this one's a logo, which I've already gotten. I've done that. So I can basically go into the court creator and use that logo any way I see fit. And then of course you do with that, another thing that's different from last year is the with the building your squad, which is one of the big focal points of this year. Now in these live events you're getting players as well. So these are apparently maybe some of the creators, or it might be some YouTubers is probably what it is. I don't know these guys, unfortunately, so sorry about that, guys. But they put different YouTubers and stuff like that. You can see Famous Los. I know him from Instagram, but different people like that you can choose from in the live events, where you can try to obtain in the live events. And I mean, so they're essentially the same. You're just getting different rewards. One of the big disappointments right now for me is the fact that they haven't put a lot more gear into this game. Me and my son specifically talked about this before the game was released, and we were wondering, because we saw the trailer and we saw a lot of the same gear in the trailer as last year. We were wondering whether or not they were gonna have a lot of new stuff. And obviously there's a lot of gear out there, so they should have a lot of new stuff, but for whatever reason, man, they really don't. And I don't know if it's more coming or what the case is, but gear is like few and far between. I've seen some people in like Live Run, which I'm about to get into, that have some different gear than what I've seen. So I imagine that you do obtain stuff over time, but there's nothing like where I can go into the store and just buy it. All this stuff that I can go into the store was on here last year. There may be a couple of items that weren't, specifically like this Galaxy shirt right here. This one was there last year. These shorts, like that's the only thing that I know that wasn't there last year. Everything else was there. So it's very, very weird to see all this same stuff over again. These weird colored shorts, these weird hoodies, all this stuff is back. They don't have the option, which I'm upset about, because 2K does, to actually have the hoodie on your head. So I thought that would have been a real nice touch. I wanted to see it last year, honestly, with the big hype, hoodie mellow, blah blah blah. But it never did it last year, and apparently not doing it this year either, unless there's some kind of update. Live is good about doing updates, so I will say that. They do have that capability that I don't think 2K has, to go in, update hair, different things like that. So maybe they do a hoodie, I don't know. But as it stands right now, they haven't. So of course you got the Live Run. Live Run is where you go in, you can choose like 3-on-3 or 5v5. And then your squad is random. It's people online, so you can do private matches, things like that. It's pretty sweet. I really do like running the 3-on-3, which there was something that they added into last year's game. Very fun, and the additions to if you played live last year, that the career hype, you can see at the bottom right, that was pretty much the only hype that they had. It was just one singular hype thing. Now you have various hypes, I guess. So you got your Live Run hype, your court hype, and your career hype, which career comes from the league, streets, and live events. And then of course Live Run comes from Live Run. Court hype comes from court battles. And all of these have levels to them, where you start at like rookie all the way up to icon. So, and it does take a long time. You see him only at level 8 on career hype. So you can see that you basically have to win a lot. I mean, if you're losing games, you're not gonna get a lot of hype. So you definitely want to go in and win, and you got to play a lot. You got to be real consistent to be able to build this up. So they did put a lot of longevity into the game this year to make it to where you continue to play even more, and you're playing for something. So I'm hoping that they're just trickling out this gear, trying to get people to just continue to play. That may be what they're doing, kind of similar to what 2K is doing with the, my player, and, people complaining about having to grind to get to, whatever 99 or whatever. But that does keep them playing. So I think that may be what Live was going for this year, trying to get people to have to grind to get to where they want to get to and get the stuff that they want to get. So we'll see about that. But you got your court battles, which, like I said, that goes with the court hype. And basically with the court battles, you choose your squad to protect your court while you're away. It's kind of like having a ghost in a racing game, where they participate in races even when you're not playing the game, and it gives you, hype when you go back into it, because these guys right here, this is my squad that defends my court. And you can, do different things. You can edit the lineup, of course, but, as you obtain different players, but you can also edit the rules of the court, and people actually choose your court, your team to play against, and they can take your court, and you can have to take your court back. So it's pretty sweet. It's a nice little touch, man, something to pay attention to and add just a little bit more to the game. I'm going to jump into the edit court so you guys can see what that's about. I had a different design for this court, so I named it the Frontier. I'm going to go back in and actually change this name back to what it was originally, which is the key, marquee. Of course, I spelled it like a key, because people would be like, what is the Kai? I don't know what that is. Anyway, so this is what you can do. You can actually set the different location for like where you want your court to be. I actually had it set to where I was born. I think I did. No, I didn't, because it wouldn't let me. So what I did was, what did I do? I think I did like San Jose or something. But I'm going to take a little bit lower. I was born, I had it in Anaheim. I was born in Ventura, so we're going to leave it in Anaheim. So that's where my court is. And I did all this little, wording and the little logo and all that stuff like that. So you can actually, you can't create the logos. This is stuff that's already in here. And you go in and like choose the different things, the themes for the court, the colors. You got your logos right here. So you can choose just various things, change it up. You pretty much never see a court that's the same. I haven't seen but so many courts, but I mean, everyone's been different for sure. So you got your flags, different things like that. And then you can resize the logos, move, all kind of different stuff. All the colors can be different. It's a really nice thing, man. Nice touch. Something that I think 2K has been doing for a while. So I really like that Live added that this year. Again, definitely a nice touch, man. So, but yeah, again, your team defends the court, and then you go out and you can battle. Now, of course, when you go out and battle, you're on the team, and then you have to choose your other 4 players. So this whole squad thing is pretty much woven into the entire game, which is cool, because I didn't think it was going to be like that. I think that they did a good job of making sure that was a focal point. The court was a focal point. Those things are good additions. And then as far as the gameplay, obviously the demo's available for anybody that wants to play it, but the gameplay did improve. So you got your whole the one thing, and that's a big deal, but that's not it. That's a good chunk of the game, and probably what most people are really interested in. But you got various modes. You got drills, you got shoot around, you got 1v1, 5v5 scrimmages that you can run. And it really teaches you the game, helps you shoot, learn your players, whatever you want to do. Then of course you got your franchise, you got Ultimate Team. So franchise is playing season after season, doing trades, all that good stuff. Ultimate Team, what that's about. You're building your fantasy squad, so to speak, and just playing, man. It's, you know, a lot like last year, not much difference, but I think it's, you know, it's your base Ultimate Team in the way you want it to be. I mean, I'm sure there are other big time hardcore Ultimate Team people that'll probably be like, oh, it doesn't have as many features as FIFA or, you know, whatever, Madden. You know, it is what it is. It's available and it's there, so I commend them for that. Then you got your NBA Play Now. WNBA is still here. Of course, another big focal point this year is being able to create a girl, a female player. You can create her and actually use her on these squads. So I didn't have any females on my squad that you saw, but I do have females like Della Dawn and Maya Moore, people like that I used for a while. And most of the squads you play against, they usually have a girl in there, but just the fact that it's available is really cool, I think. That inclusion, man, to be able to have a female baller out there. It is weird because when you play against them in live run and stuff like that, a lot of dudes are creating females, and these girls are able to dunk like dudes. Like, and it's really weird. I really wish they would kind of tone that down. You know, I understand that girls can dunk. You know, I do get that. But, I mean, they ain't just coming down through the lane and just cocking back on people. They ain't doing that. So, you know, we got to find some way to regulate that, because I just think it's weird. It just makes the game seem more fantasy than realistic. So I don't know, but you got online head-to-head, which works very well, and you can actually go into online head-to-head and you got a best of 7 that you can do now, which is, I guess, a good touch. I mean, if you want to play somebody for 7 games possibly, so you're playing like a playoff series against somebody, I guess that's cool. You can invite friends, leaderboards, you know, rank match. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, like Madden, pretty much. I think actually probably has more options than Madden does, but yeah, they still haven't got all the face scans, so that's another bad thing. Like, the WNBA players, it's not that many players, so that's weird to me. It's only like 16 teams or something, and they don't even have all the face scans for all the females on the team, all the players. So I think that's weird, especially when you got people like Skylar Diggins that don't have a scan, or some other notables. So I think they really need to get on that for sure. I thought they would make sure that was done. Some rookies in the NBA they don't have scans for. I know one specifically is oh man, I don't think they ever did a scan for Markkanen from last year, and he's a pretty big player now, so I don't really understand why they didn't go and make sure that was taken care of. But it was another rookie. I think it's pretty much the second rounders though. Besides Mo Wagner, that was the one on the Lakers. Yeah, he's some generic dude, so that kind of made me mad, because I would think you would definitely make sure you did all the first rounders no matter what, but you know, whatever. I guess they'll get to that, but you know, out of the box, yeah, it doesn't have all the scans for sure. And when they brought the rosters back, creative player, all that stuff is back. The stuff that they added into the game last year. So, you know, they do updates, you know, like I keep saying that. So the game may not be the same, you know, a couple of months from now. It may be a very, very different game. So, you know, you got to take live, you know, with a grain of salt right now, because you just don't know what it's going to look like. I really wish they would have adjusted this Western Conference, Eastern Conference thing, because they didn't. You know, obviously everybody knows they went to the Team LeBron, Team Steph last year. So I wish they would have fixed that, but they do have the players correct. I mean, so, you know, that's cool, but yeah, they definitely need to, or you know, I think that they need to adjust that. So I'm gonna hop into a game just so y'all can see some gameplay if you haven't. Like I said, the demo is available for anybody that wants to play it, but I'm gonna jump into it just so you can hear some commentary. I know this is probably gonna play some music. You know, what am I gonna do? So let's see. The commentary has changed this year as well. You got Jason Williams, and this other guy, I don't know his name, but I'm sure they're gonna say it. But I think they do a pretty good job of commentating. You can check it out.
NBA action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams. Should be a terrific game here tonight. We're at the Golden One Center in downtown Sacramento. Tonight, it's the Sacramento Kings taking on the Milwaukee Bucks.
So, I mean, as you can see, the game doesn't look really much different from last year, but the actual gameplay itself, they added in what's called True Motion, which I think the director, I want to say, of Madden actually joined the team this year and actually made it, actually implemented that into the game. So that's a pretty big deal because it does change the motion, you know, as players move around in the game. It's a pretty big deal. So
as a team, when you establish your dominance in the paint.
Yeah, the commentating last year was very dry. Didn't really, you know, always go with the game the way it should have, and a lot of people complained about that. But I think this year they really, it's better. It's not, you know, it's not perfect, but it's better.
And the foul, and a chance at 3 coming up.
The offense has very little to lose on those.
I mean, anybody comparing the graphics of Live to 2K, it's a very different looking game. It's not a bad looking game. It's not on par with what 2K is, but it has its own style. And really, a lot of people would argue that the player models are more realistic in Live than they are in 2K, just because, you know, I don't know, maybe just the builds. I'm not really sure, but I think both of them look good in their own right. But I think 2K definitely has the edge.
Nothing going here on that drive. De'Aaron Fox to
Let's see what
Bagley.
Bagley's talking about.
Just
That was
enough
weird.
of a fake to help on that one.
So yeah, they add a lot of new animations, things like that. I don't know how many animations, but
Gonna run the offense.
it's a lot. Believe me, playing, you know, the game for at least 100 hours, 100 plus hours last year, I know everything that was in the game, and they definitely got a lot of additions this year, a lot of dribbling moves, things like that.
Bledsoe to Antetokounmpo.
Layups, dunks, whatever, diving after the ball, tie-ups, just a lot of different stuff, man. Intercepting the ball, like simple stuff that you didn't really notice wasn't there last year, or at least I didn't. Ooh, yeah, that was different. Just throwing the ball up, like different stuff like that, man. I appreciate it. I think they're definitely putting in the effort to improve the game, man. That's the biggest thing, is that it is an improvement on last year. So, I mean, that's it, man. I went through everything that I could go through, man. So, I mean, the game itself, like I said, is an improvement on last year. But there are a lot of things that still need improvement, that they just, you know, with so much to improve upon, they just, I guess, really just haven't been able to get to, man. So the game last year was I think a huge jump from what, well, obviously they didn't have a 17, but a huge jump from what 16 was. And I think this year is definitely not as huge of a jump, but it is a step in the right direction. So it's definitely pushing 2K to get a little better. And that's all we really want, man. Competition, man. We just want these developers to really hold themselves accountable, man, and really, you know, put out the best product that they can. And I think that EA is doing the best that they can right now, and it's making things better all the way across the board. So that's it for me, man. It's been real. I appreciate y'all watching. If you like the review, man, or like what you see, man, pick the game up. It's $60 right now. If it's anything like last year, honestly, man, it's probably gonna drop pretty quickly, and you'll be able to pick it up for a little bit cheaper later. But yeah, it's definitely it's worth the money, man. I think you get a lot of gameplay out of it. And if you're looking for something and you're like not wanting to play 2K, I mean, this is pretty much your only alternative. So it is what it is. But yeah, y'all continue to check out thecoolestnerd.net for all your news, reviews, all that good stuff. Check out my YouTube, of course, for unboxings, all that good stuff. And then Twitch, _coolest_nerd. And of course, Instagram and Twitter at the nerdiest cool, man. Till next time, shut up and play.